Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to make a quick video about this book that I just finished. We Have Always Lived in the Castle. You would have seen this book in my channel for quite some times because even though this book is very thin, it has only 10 chapters. And for this copy, it has only 186, I think. Yeah, it has only 186 pages, but it took me a whole month to finish. Well, it's not that this book is not good or anything like that, or it's not that it's hard to read or difficult or crazy to read. Maybe a little bit crazy to read, but not difficult for sure in terms of language and everything like that. But I happened to read this book when I went back home, and whenever that I go back home, I would not have enough time to read. I don't really have time to read that much. I would have like 30 minutes or an hour before bed, and that's all. And most of the time I would be so tired to read. So it took me longer than expected to finish the book. However, alright, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. What a ride. I think I said before that this book is not outright scary. This book is like atmospheric and eerie and weird in terms of like the characters and the reactions of one another in the book, but it's not scary or like monster, ghostly, anything like that. You know, you would not see anything like that, but you would get the spookiness from the characters, the reaction, the villagers, the narrator, who is Mary Cat or Mary Catherine, and yeah, the spookiness, the scary parts come from there, in my opinion. So We Have Always Lived in the Castle is the story about the Blackwood family. The Blackwood family is the wealthy family that live in the castle, or like the manor up on the hill away from the village. However, most of them were poisoned and died. And the person whom everyone thought was behind the poisoning is Constance, the older sister of Mary Cat, or our narrator. I guess she went on trial, but she got off the hook and she came back to the castle and lived with the rest of her family, which is Mary Cat and also Uncle Julian. And the villagers, most of the villagers did not agree with that because they thought that Constance is actually the culprit, and they hated the family ever since. While I was reading this book, it was like a wild ride to be in the head of Mary Cat. She is very special. She is very, very weird character. And most of the time she would say or she would think something that would have your eyebrows tie into a bow like this. I'm like, what? But sometimes, funny enough, I feel like related to her. I'm like, girl, I do feel this sometimes, and does that make me a weird person now? What is the word normal? So we can't describe some people, like other people, to be weird and odd when we can't even describe the word normal itself. What is normal? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I just realized that. I'm not making sense right now. I know I'm not making sense right now. I'm so sorry. This is the worst review ever. I was just like stream of consciousness, like speaking out without planning anything. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, I was having a blast reading this book. It was like reading a mystery with the dark and eerie setting. These characters, especially Constance, Mary Cat, and Julian, Uncle Julian, they have been through a lot. All right, they have been through a lot, and maybe the situations that they've been through made them who they are. The interesting thing about this book is that Shirley Jackson does not describe anything directly to you, does not explain things directly to you. Everything was like, she was like giving you this book and like, okay, I will leave it to your interpretation, whatever you think about it. Because of the lack of explanation and the lack of background story and everything like that, you are left dumbfounded. But when I was reading this book, it was like I opened the door of freedom to interpret this book however I want it. And that was crazy. That was crazy good. This book would initiate very intriguing conversation between you and your friends if you read this. I think this book is perfect for a book club, you know, because just like me right now, I am finishing this book and I don't have anybody else to talk about the book with. So I'm filming myself rambling about random things that popping on my head and I don't really make sense. I don't think so. I'm sorry about that again. But this book is like, it will cause a very meaningful, interesting, thought-provoking conversation between you and your friends or your book club members, whatever. Because I don't think we would think the same, like 100%, all the way from the start, from the start to finish. I don't think that we're gonna have the same idea. We're gonna have the same thought about the book or the same interpretation. So I really want to get to know Shirley Jackson. And this book is the first book that I got from her, that I read from her. I think we're off to a good start. And I'm excited to read the next book from her. I have my eyes on, what's the name of the book? The Haunting of the Hill House, or Haunting of the Hill House, Haunting on the Hill House. I'm sorry, I'm not sure about the prepositions there, but something. All right, I'm excited for that book. Maybe I will read that book this year. Yeah, I think that's it for today's review. I'm sorry for my so chill, so relaxed position. I don't know. I cannot find the right angle for me, and it's so gloomy outside. It's so dark, and so the weather does not help me being productive today. And if I don't just like do it right away, I would just skip it for another day, and this video will not being filmed, and it's just gonna get postponed, and I'm just gonna procrastinate. That's the word, and I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So I just need to do it right away. I'm sorry about this weird angle if that's offend you. Anyways, if you are looking for some good book to read, good short book to read, and it's giving like gothic book, mystery, dark, eerie, stuff like that, I would really recommend this. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. If you have read it And if you have any thought, any idea, any things that you want to share, I would love to read them on a comment section. I would love to talk about the book more. And I would love to have more friends to talk about books. That's why I made this channel. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.